Alrighty, what is quacking, everybody? Decav came out of the gates swinging a little bit, but now it is in full swing, throwing hands with the best of the best. Decav is definitely a top tier weapon, and it has shown a lot over these last couple months since its release. This weapon has monstrous kill power. The fact that it has a very long charge dash and just, you can one-shot people who are far away from you and you just close the gap really quickly. If they're not ready to mow you down and they miss their shots, they are dead on the spot. Also, decav with its charge slash can get across some gaps as well and put you in some very favorable positions. And also, if you're really skilled, you can use the charge slash to get out of very sticky situations. I've done it myself a couple times, and it's pretty cool that decav has some pretty unique movement that you can just kind of get away with just your charge slash alone. But on top of that, this thing just kills like no other. It is just a monstrous weapon that will just slash the entire enemy team down if they're not prepared for you. And you can just rush people down for the most part. If you get up in close and personal with them, it only takes 2 shots because you're hitting them with the full brunt of your sword, so it's only 2 shots. But this thing does have some range as well, so you're going to hit them with 3 shots if you're hitting your shots as well. You can do some nice charge slash combos as well, where you hit them with a full charge and just a regular hit. There's plenty of ways you can kill people with this weapon, and this weapon is just solid in the killing department. Not to mention the fact that this weapon can paint as well. It can, have good upkeep on its specials. For the most part, you're not really focusing on its specials, but it does have bubble and jet for both of its variants. So bubble is very solid for mint decav. So if you can get your bubble up and use bubble to push with your team instead of, just constantly dive feeding, that's a very good thing that you can do. Just, using your bubbles to help your push, using your bubbles selfishly and just, forcing their team to stay at a distance while you just keep throwing charge slashes at them as well. And on top of that, mint decav has a suction bomb, so you can tie that into the bubble. Or if you're playing charcoal decav, you have wall to space people out. On top of that, you have inkjet as well to blast people in the face. Decav is all around just a solid weapon. It does have a few key weaknesses though. I find that people can jump over your charge slashes or swim under your charge slashes. And if you try to counteract that, it turns into a 50-50 where if you think they're going to jump and you aim slightly upwards, you're going to miss if they swim away, or if you're aiming slightly down, they're just going to jump over your shot, or your shot's just going to get eaten by the floor. Also, this weapon does struggle on sloped maps as well, or heavy vertical maps. It takes a lot longer for this weapon to paint up the walls, so if you're trying to flank and get up walls, it's very difficult. Crab Leg Capital is kind of one of the maps that I think of when it's, you're trying to get up those walls, but the map is also very open, so you will get punished trying to paint the walls. If you're just kind of like alone or just trying to like rush them and paint the walls, you're just going to get killed. It's going to take a long time to paint the walls on Flounder Heights as well, and every second counts. So if it takes you like a second or two to paint the walls, that's a second or two you could have been spent killing people. And like I said, slopes are the bane of this enemy's existence because, if you just do your normal charge slash, it's just going to get eaten by the slope. But if you do other weapons that have vertical slashes like Stamper, Wiper, Rollers, they kind of just go up the slope and over. Even if they're not going to kill, they're still going to paint. Unlike, decav, where you're just going to, do a charge slash and it's just going to get eaten by the slope. So those are kind of some key weaknesses that this weapon has, but it can definitely overcome these weapon weaknesses on other maps, such as Mahi. You can do it on Macklemart as well. Macklemart has smaller stack walls towards the middle, so you can use it that way. And if you get a hold of those stacks in general, you were just dominating people as well. Also, Robo Ramen is pretty decent for this weapon as well. Humpback is pretty good as well. But vertically challenging maps, I would say, like, Crab Leg, Flounder, those ones are the first that come to mind when it has a little bit of a struggle on. But it can still do very well on those maps, especially if you work out where you're walking and stuff like that, and you're working with your team to deal with your vertical challengeness. It's like I'm calling this weapon short, but it's anything but short. And if it is short, it's a short king because this thing slays out. And like every weapon in the game now, this has 2 kit variants. It has its bubble and suction bomb and wall and inkjet. I touched on those earlier. I think the mint decav variant is a lot stronger than the charcoal decav variant due to the fact that it does have a lethal with suction bomb, and bubble is just such a good special right now in the game that you can just kind of use bubble for whatever with mint decav. You can use it for your team, use it for yourself, use it for whatever. Basically, I personally you have a more selfish bubble depending on, you know, how my team's playing. Like if I'm up there slaying nonstop, I'm just gonna put the bubble down for myself and keep the enemy team at bay with charge slashes and keep pain up for my team. Or if, you know, I need to be with my team, I'll put it on tower or something. Or if we need it for like a clam push to, you know, put it down for clams or rainmaker, or just keeping them away from the zone as well. There's a lot of applications with bubble, and I think mint decav can use all those applications very well. It's not just for bubble though, but bubble does add to its kit a little better. And also it has suction bomb, so you can use suction bomb in your bubble to poke people out as well. Charcoal decav, I feel like it's still a strong weapon, but it does have some weaknesses. It can utilize wall very well, and poke people out with charge slashes, and you know, if you play around your wall with it, you can see some easy gains. The issue with charcoal decav is the fact that it has inkjet. Inkjet was thriving for a while, but now this weapon, this special, is kind of like middle tier for the most part. I wouldn't say it's outright abysmal, but you're most likely going to get shot down in the air half the time if you're not good enough to, you know, just dodge attacks. Like you're looking at people shooting Zuka shots at you, you know, Splatlings or Chargers just, you know, mowing you down like it's nobody's business. So that's where Charcoal Decav kind of struggles. And I know a lot of people do build into Inkjet for it, but I personally do not build into Inkjet with Charcoal Decav. And for the first build that I do have that I use on, I can use it on both of them, but I mostly play mint decav. This is kind of what I generally use. Some swim speed for movement, quick respawn and comeback, because I'm just out there slaying. I'm in the front lines. I'm in the trenches. I'm sitting there hitting people, smacking them silly, and comeback, obviously, because, you know, I'm taking a couple with me when I die. And also, you know, the stealth jump to get back in real quick and just kind of, you know, keep it up. You can replace the special saver with another quick super jump. That is what I currently run. I kind of go back and forth depending on what I'm doing. Or you can replace one of the swim speeds with another quick super jump as well, or special saver. So that's kind of like the options you go with. This is just kind of like what I generally run, just kind of like a general use build. Nothing really special about it besides like this is like a Slayer build. And then if you were going to run charcoal, this is kind of what I would kind of run for charcoal, just to kind of get, you know, my inkjet up faster. Or you can use this on regular decav as well, just mint decav, if you want to like up the bubbles as well, because bubble is 210 on mint decav. So if you just want to run like double special, like 2 subs of special charge, that can definitely help. Or one special, special charge up and special saver, you can do that as well. So it's kind of like whatever you really want to prioritize, because you can build anything on any weapon, whatever you want to build. This is just kind of a general idea if you're kind of struggling. It's just like, I feel like QR is very good because, you know, it is a Slayer weapon. You should be up there killing people and, you know, keeping up that tempo in the front lines. So QR is, you know, very relevant as well. And if you match into solo queue with a cooler teammate, you're like in heaven basically. And what's nice about decav is it really does pair into a lot of weapons very well. It pairs into the meta weapons. You can pair it with splash, shot. You can pair it with a bucket as well for your other Slayer. Obviously pen is like goated as well. Or if, you know, your backline's a little bit different, it's still fine with headed. Obviously cooler, any cooler weapon is gonna go well with this weapon. Obviously cooler is just the magnus opus of this game basically. Cooler is the end all be all. But like any cooler weapon that paints really well, it goes great with. There's nothing that really hinders this weapon's pairing. You're not just like, oh, well, we need to build this, or we need to pick this weapon to make up for this weapon's weaknesses. Like this weapon is just, it can fit into basically any single team comp, unless you're going for a full Slayer comp with no paint, then you might be a little bit in trouble. But for the most part, decav is just solid all around. This weapon is fantastic. Overall, decav is just a phenomenal weapon. It is just amazing. I feel like it could be my main weapon these days with how much I play it. I just have so much fun with it. It's a lot better than me just spamming shooters. So that's decav. Let me know what you build. Let me know how you feel about decav, if you love it, if you hate it. I know a lot of people hate decav. Let me know how much you hate decav if you hate it. And I will see you in the next one. Take care.